friend, Leslie Kritzer.
Hi
Hey,
guys.
Leslie, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I love you look sensational.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. I appreciate that. I put on some makeup for you guys, so
Thank
there
you.
we
I
go.
have some makeup on too. I got my MAC light Egyptian on. I have my, I call it, it's an old Max Factor color from MGM.
You always look fabulous. You always
Oh,
look.
thank you. Listen, Broadway shut down on March 12th, and everybody who I've sat with already, they're all trying to process and just figure out, like, what was that day like for you, and how did you find out that Beetlejuice wasn't going to go on?
Um, God, it seems so long ago now.
Yeah.
It's like we Wednesday we had just switched over to our new schedule with Wednesdays off. We were going to be doing 5 show weekends now.
Yeah.
So Wednesday was our day off, and I was, doing errands in the city. I was doing different stuff. I think I had an audition for something, and then we got a call that the show was not going to be on Thursday night.
Yeah.
And I don't literally, it feels like a blur. All the days, I know everybody watching this is like all of the days. I have to double check what day it is now all the time. And then we just got the call. We were not going to be going into work on Thursday. And then yeah, the days all kind of seem a blur. And then we were like, well, and then company management told us we could go to the theater and get some stuff. And I missed that window because I didn't really have anything in my dressing room that I needed. But yeah, and then it's just been weeks, almost a month. Next week it'll be what, a month since
Isn't that bizarre? Everybody who I've spoken to already said, it's like you wake up and it's just another day unless you ask or look in your book saying, is it Monday? Is it Tuesday? Is it Wednesday?
It's so crazy. It's crazy. And it's like all of all of my friends and I were going, today was an okay day, yesterday was a really bad day.
Yeah.
Or, like, because it's going in waves. We're all dealing with this new reality, and the news changes all the time. We have friends that we know that have it. We have friends of friends that are in the hospital. And some have been, very public about it. And it's just kind of crazy. It's like, oh wow, I wear masks now when I go outside.
Yeah.
And now I don't let boxes in my house without wiping them down. Like, it's crazy. It's the new reality. It's really nuts.
We started the box thing last week because a friend of ours who works for the post office and UPS said, just cut through those boxes or spray them with Lysol. If you have it, take your items out and throw them right out.
That's right. We leave everything, because I live in a house. We leave everything on the porch. Sometimes I'll leave stuff on the porch. I'll let it sit there for a while if it's not like perishable or something.
Yeah.
I'll spray it down. I open everything with gloves and stuff, and it's and I wipe even when I get deliveries from like grocery store stuff. I wipe all the bags down, the boxes down. If I don't have to keep a box, I don't keep it. Everyone has varying degrees of like how they feel about that. But I think for me, I'm just trying to take every precaution. I've never washed my hands so much. I don't know about you, but my hands are so dry. I have to I never wear lotion on my hands. I'm not that person.
Yeah.
Now, here we go.
I never look at my hands in the light. I'm like, oh my God, you have 90-year-old mummy hands or whatever,
Oh my God.
But, I don't really care. We live, but it's like Clorox wipes now. I'm like, it's like gold. You pull one out and said, I don't have many left. I'm like, I've got to use this for whatever, it's
how long and how much, like, I have one, and then so I'll write down something and I'm like, well, it's still wet. Like, I can't use, can I also put it, do this after that? Or is is it done? Is the power of this one little wipe done now? And then, it's so messed up. It's like,
we're so ultra sensitive to everything at the moment, hypersensitive to everything right now. So at least you have your husband there too. I have my husband here. How is Vadim? How are you two doing? Like, what's a day-to-day like?
Well, it depends. Him and I are very different. He's playing video games right now. Our day starts how it always starts, which is, he's in charge of the coffee. He makes the coffee starts at a certain time. We have coffee. We'll watch a little morning Joe on MSNBC. And that sort of thing is how we always operate. I have started meditating a little bit in the morning. I'm trying to, thanks to David Josephsberg, who told me to start doing that, and it does help. We kind of like go our separate ways a little bit, and he'll, do the New York Times crossword puzzle. He'll do that. But we'll kind of like check in. Like yesterday, we went outside, we ran outside, we almost died. Our hips were like, oh my God, our hips on this concrete. But then, like we'll start doing things together. We'll do projects, we'll do little things. And some days are easier to motivate than other days. I'm still working out at home here. He likes to run. He doesn't like to do, but I have like a little setup up here. So a lot of reading, a lot of stuff like that. I'm definitely more of I need schedule. I need do all of this. He's more like chill and relaxed. And, but I think we go up and down depending. He's the cook though. He cooks.
Because I was going to ask you, who's perfected their culinary skills in the house?
It's definitely not me. It's definitely not me. I mean, he loves to cook. So I'm in charge of like the orders, like how the delivery, like I like now I've made it like a game to try to get like a window delivery time. I like fill up the cart and then I like refresh and try to see. So sad that that's part of my day. And I'm not ordering a lot all the time.
Yeah.
But he's like, okay, let's make this tonight. Like, it's like this. I was like, we got to make the pesto. We got to freeze the pesto. We bought all the people. Let's freeze it. And I'm like making pesto and putting it in little ice cube things. So when they freeze, then you can pop one out and cook with it.
You're like the restaurant manager and he's the chef, right?
He's the chef. Yes. I'm being the manager. That's true. I'll sous chef stuff, but in charge, no.
Okay. Are you binge watching anything? Like, are you obsessed with a series, the two of you, or?
I'm a terrible wife, and I'm going to tell you why. So Vadim and his friends, they have figured out a way to also play poker online and have me on Zoom at the same time, right? Okay. So his friends from there's all different groups of people, all different shows, all different walks of life that play poker online and are on Zoom. So he decided in the middle of us binge watching Ozark, the new season, he wanted to have a poker game the other night. And I said, well, you know me, I'm not going to wait for you. So I finished all of Ozark without him. It's amazing. So Ozark, so now I'm in hot water, but Ozark, Better Call Saul and Homeland are not, they're released weekly. So they're not one big release. So we watch that together every Sunday and Monday. But Ozark's one, I just watched Unorthodox on Netflix. Oh, yeah. Which was fantastic. And I have so many others. Oh, my God. I just told myself I won't binge watch television during the day. Yeah. During the day, I try to like be active more. Mentally, it does something to me if I'm sitting around all day watching television. But like as soon as 5 o'clock rolls around, that's it. Like from then on, I put on my second outfit of the day.
Your nighttime outfit.
My nighttime outfit. And then it's food. I sometimes have Zoom happy hours with friends. I still have the Saturday night on Broadway with the Beetlejuice cast is still going.
All right, let's talk about that. So how are you connecting with the cast of Beetlejuice? How are you all like seeing each other?
Well, Dana Steingold, who plays the Girl Scout in Beetlejuice, she's like, we should keep Snob going. And I'm like, you're right. I'm signing up for a Zoom account. So I signed up for the whole year. Just drop that little chunk of change down. But I was like, you know what? We don't know how long this is going to last. The Zoom account is pretty great. Yeah. And then I was able to invite more than a certain people of time, more than 40 minutes, because the basic is just like 40 minutes at a time. Oh. Yeah. So this way, if you get the pro account, you can get more. Anyway. And then we just said, let's do, we named our first one, Mama, I'm Staying Home, which is, Home is one of the songs when she goes, Mama, I'm going home. So we did Mama, I'm Staying Home, first stop. Yeah. And every week, so this week, Elliot Maddox, who's in our show, is hosting the next snob. And everyone's being invited to it, and our cast, crew, producers, show up and they click in, and it's just a nice way for all of us to see each other and go, okay, like that was real. Yeah. We're in a show and we're all still here, and it just, we're not alone. Even if you're with your spouse or whoever, you're connected to your family. I mean, all these shows, anyone who has any job, you show up to work every day and you see the same people. It's kind of, it's so weird. It's so weird. So it's nice. We keep in touch. We make each other laugh. Last week was the toga party. So everyone dressed up in togas. That was very fun.
Oh, I love that. Theme parties at Beetlejuice.
Yeah. This week is like wear anything but clothing. So it's like, we have to like wear stuff that's not clothing. So like I can wear a lampshade and maybe my phone strapped to my head. I don't know. I have to look at the rules, but Elliot came up with amazing. So it's like, it'll be fun. I mean, hopefully at some point we'll look back on these times and go, wow, we got closer than we've ever been, even though.
No, I love that because with any time you work outside of your house, especially, show families know you better than like real family members do because you tell them different things. I mean, it becomes your second family and then it's all taken away from you because you're on that structure of 8 shows a week. You arrive at half hour or beforehand, you do your 2 show days. I mean, that's your life. That's what you do.
And like, it's so nice to talk to you. I mean, I've known you for so long. So like to see your face and to talk to you, it's like, it makes me go, it really does. It makes a difference of reaching out to people, saying hi to people.
Yeah.
FaceTime or on the phone, whatever it is. It's difficult. My mom is at the Actors Fund home in Inglewood, New Jersey. They've been in lockdown for weeks.
Yeah.
And we have a FaceTime talk with her. My sister and I both FaceTime with her. They set it up. I'm Tuesday, my sister's Friday, but it's terrible. I'm glad that she's safe, knock on wood.
Yeah.
She's in Bergen County, which has the highest number of cases in the state of New Jersey.
Yeah.
And it's scary. There's so much out of our control right now. So I try every day when I feel myself getting scared or overwhelmed or like, what am I going to do? Should I pull her out of there? What do I, like what, you just don't know.
Yeah.
I try to stay connected to people and I need to be on some sort of schedule-ish because if not, my brain just wanders too much. And so I like to have things to do and then it gets me outside myself, especially dealing with my mom because it's the biggest concern for me.
Because, my sister is a nurse and she works in a nursing home on Long Island and they're all on lockdown too. I mean, the healthcare workers, we have to give a big shout out to all the healthcare workers. And my other sister's a teacher. They're all working at home on these like Zoom programs and everything else to sort of move the kids along. But it's like, it's all these people that are helping, that are out there every single day looking out for everybody.
I mean, they're literally putting their lives on the line. I have a friend who I met on vacation in Sedona. Her name's Heidi. She's one of the top pulmonary doctors in Boston.
Yeah.
She's in the ICU. And I text her all the time to see how she's doing. My cousin, Joanne, is also a nurse up in Westchester, but they may be moving her into the city because there's a high demand for nurses. And just everyone who's out there, even people who are working in the supermarkets, like making sure food is getting out there. Like I feel I'm just trying to be positive and send out good energy as much as I can. And yesterday was a hard day. I literally, I got really sad yesterday. I just took a drive with my dog and I drove by the hospital in my hometown because I live very close to where I grew up. And there's people in hazmat suits walking into the hospital where my sister was born. Like I've driven by this hospital my whole life and there's big white tents and it just kind of hit me. I'm like, wow, like, this is for real. And we really have to take this seriously, which is why it's very difficult when you see people who are not taking it seriously.
Yeah.
But I unfortunately think we're going to know more and more people who are going to pass away from this. And whether they're public or not, or first degree separation. There's more first, second, third degrees of separation of people that I know that are passing away now. So I'm just, I'm trying to take it seriously and do everything I can to just be positive and always remember what day it is.
That's all we can do, really. I mean, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
We
can do. And, I'm still like a lot of people, I haven't like sang or done any of that stuff. It hasn't felt right to me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's not for anyone else. It's just for me, it took me a while to adjust. Now I like want to try to raise some money for the Actors Fund, and do some more things. That at first it took a second. I was like, wait, what? And primary focus was my mom. But now I think I want to do some more things actively. So hopefully that'll be starting soon. That's something I want to do.
You know, because at Broadway World, we've been helping to raise money for the Actors Fund and for Broadway Cares, because, you know, this is normally the 6-week period that Broadway Cares does all their fundraising, not only on Broadway, but in all the tours. And they usually raise $6 million during this 6-week fundraising time period. But they have their online BroadwayCares.org. They have their online COVID-19 emergency fund. They've already raised online $1.5 million, which they've given to the Actors Fund.
That's unbelievable.
So it's like everyone.
Now I'm game. I'm ready to. It's like it takes people a second to go, okay, wait, what's happening? I just lost my job. Okay, this and this. People are sick. Like, jobs aside, people are sick. I could get sick. I could give this. Okay, and then now, okay, what can I do to help some other people now? And now is the time where I'm feeling like I'm ready to do that. It did take me a second though. I was like, I don't think I can do a hand washing challenge right now. Like I don't even want to make a video of anything right now. Just being completely honest, for me personally, I just couldn't I didn't even want to do much on social media at all.
Sure.
And then now I'm like, okay, now I feel in a better place to do that. Whereas before I felt a little in shock.
No, because I was numb by the whole thing too. And I eventually wanted, you know, when Rob Diamond said, I said, now I'm ready to do this, because I think everyone sort of, and I think everything that you're all telling everybody, the fans are all watching, fellow actors are watching all around the world. It's like a beautiful therapy session, you know.
Oh, sorry. I just saw David as a dresser from the National Theater in DC. Hi, David.
See, he's watching. See, this is,
oh my God,
we're all connecting. We're all connecting with people.
Well, yeah. And what some of the things, and, you know, I just started thinking of little things that I can do.
Yeah.
And connect to people. And, you know, everyone has different situations financially and where they are and what they're doing. And I think it's also important to be transparent about being afraid. I think it's okay to be scared and to feel that, and not, you know, because also social media is tricky, right? Like, everyone wants to put on social media whatever they're doing. You know, different people do different things and put out there, but just know it's also okay on social media to be like, hey, I'm feeling this and this, and I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, but is anyone else feeling this way? If we are, let's have a dialogue about it, instead of just being like, I'm fierce, great. You know, like, that's, you know, this is also a time for people to feel like they can be more of who they are, you know, and not always put out what you think people want to see.
Yeah.
I think we can learn a lot from this and maybe grow closer in some sort of way. I definitely already think that this whole thing is teaching me a lot about myself and how I've taken so many things for granted. I think it forces you to do that. I don't think.
Yeah.
So, but I still plan on making people laugh. I want to do that. I want to put out some funny stuff. I'm just so sensitive about it because it's a really tough time right now. So you know, even comedians and all that are being very careful about any jokes they're making or whatever. You know, you just have to be like, you have to read the room, as we say.
Yeah. Because, you know, you have 2 shows you're working on, right? I saw part of your show that you've done in pieces, which is really, really wonderful. What are the names of your 2 shows you're working on? Aren't you working on 2?
I had Beautiful Disaster. You mean the ones that I did live? Beautiful Disaster was one that I did about my high school. And then the other one is called Burn It to the Ground, which I was supposed to be doing again this spring.
Yeah.
With Pup. But yeah, and that's another one that's just a lot of characters that I do and stuff around them. And I do all different things in it. And then, like, you know, I wanted to do that, but obviously we can't. Maybe there's a way I can do it from my house for free, or raise money or whatever. I don't know. All these things are starting to, like, ideas are starting to pop.
Percolating. Now your time is coming out saying, now I can give back. You know, you all have so much talent. You've been given all of this stuff. Seriously. I mean, you know, I fell in love with you at Paper Mill. I mean, I was one of the earliest, you know, I mean, Who's on there now? Who's popping in?
Oh, someone just asked me how my wasp situation was. I post, which I will post about, not to interrupt you, but
no, go ahead.
Every spring outside, I live in the suburbs, and every spring outside of my house, there's this one huge wasp, and probably changes every year, right? Like a wasp can't live for like 8,000. It's a killer bee wasp. It basically kills bees or other wasps and like takes them. No, it eats cicadas. That's what it does. It eats cicadas and then it pulls them into the ground. So this wasp though is like this big. So when it flies, like you see it, it feels like it's a bird in front of your face. It's huge. So I did a whole thing on Instagram about how I walked out of this house last spring. This wasp, like it was like wouldn't let me walk out of the house without running. So people were they thought it was hilarious. So I'm waiting for it to come back. I mean, the next generation of it, who, it lays eggs. I'm sure its spawn will come out and we'll have more. But see, that's something I could post about that's so dumb that people can laugh at because it's a freaking wasp and like it's not about corona. It's not about anything. It's just it's just a wasp and it's just dumb. So that's the answer for Katie. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm not wearing my glasses.
I can't see without mine.
You've been such a fan of mine for so long. I can't, I don't even like saying fan, but like colleague and supporter. And, since I was 24, that was a long time ago.
Were you 24 or 23 when you did Funny Girl?
23 and I turned 24 during the run.
All right. How amazing was that? Because I have to tell you, going back to that, I mean, that still goes down in one of like my top 10 or 15. I've told you this before. I mean, I thought that put you on the map as playing Fanny Brice, and what a role to take on. And you just took that on 1,000,000%. I mean, just your performance was just you blew it out of the park. I mean, it was.
And you know what? Like, it's such a great part. It's one of those parts that every woman that's kind of a character actress woman who's in the same ballpark, there's a whole bunch of us, should play at some point in their life, wherever it is. I'm happy that I was able to do it at such a high level at that age. It would be very different now if I got a chance to do it again. It would be great, but honestly, I don't think about it as something like people ask me, what's your dream role? And that's not my dream role anymore because I did it. And I think it's kind of, I have other things. So it's kind of great. I'm excited. I hear all kinds of things about what's next for it, that it's coming. Yeah. I'm excited. I think it's great. And I think it's a show that we actually need now. Yeah.
Well, we actually have a clip we're running a clip this week. You're our first clip. I don't know if you can see it. You'll be able to hear it. But Alan, we're going to roll a clip of Leslie Kritzer as Fanny Brice singing Don't Rain, part of you singing Don't Rain on My Parade from your brilliant performance as Fanny Brice in Funny Girl at Paper Mill. Alan, roll the clip.
Hey, Mr. Unseen,
what happened to our clip?
Much more than I guess I didn't make it. That's ready for me. Cause I'm a comer. I simply gotta march my heart. Nobody, nobody is just gonna rain on my mind.
We had to run that.
You know what I was trying to do?
What's that?
I was trying to see how long I held that note.
I was going to ask you, how long was that note?
We'd have to.
Well, it'll play back. This will rerun nonstop at Broadway World.
Yeah, it's.
It's a big note, right?
Yeah, it's like weird. I just got choked up listening to that. Oh, what a different time. Yeah, I was determined to hold that note all the way till I went off stage. I held it until I walked down to the wig. I don't know how long. I mean, I could go in and time it. That's what I was trying to do. I'm trying to find my phone, but I'm not my timer, but I'm not wearing my glasses.
But that had to have meant the world to you then, to have taken on this iconic role. And it was like, Leslie Kritzer, here you are.
Yeah.
Fanny Brice, funny girl, paper mill.
Well, and it's like, look, that's the thing. I mean, a lot to the people that are watching, I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there that are watching that are young, aspiring performers or who are performers that are trying to, you know, make it here or coming here or whatever. And I will just say the biggest lesson that I've learned from that experience, not only to be able to work with the amazing people and to do that show at that time, because also it's funny, 9/11 happened, that production was supposed to move to Broadway, and 9/11 happened how many months later, in September. So that was May or the first week in June that we closed that. And in September, 9/11 happened. So it was 2001. And I, for years and years and years, held on to that hope that it would be, you know, it would happen again, and then it happened again. And then when the revival happened and I didn't get cast in the revival years and years later, you know, for a long time, I was just like, that's my ticket. That's my show. That's the thing. And it's just not true. You know, it's just not true. Life has other plans, right? So which is why I say, I look back in that time and being able to do that role at 24, nothing can compare to that. It just nothing can compare to it. Not even now. Not even now. Even if I were, it's such a special time. And and when you do parts like that, when you do shows, any show, like look at all these shows right now. So many may come back, may not come back. I feel terrible for all these, the newer shows, you know, the Tonys, all that great stuff is supposed to be happening right now. This is the beginning of that season. And that's what we love. And we dream about going through an award season and being in a new show. Right now, those plans are on hold. We have no idea. So, but it's like, it's just a lesson that you never know what's coming. To be grateful for being in the moment, be grateful for what you have now, instead of looking so far ahead and thinking something is going to happen, and if your whole life is dependent on it. It's just not true, you know. So, and a lot of people say, well, you know, that part was meant for you, and all that. It's like, well, it's meant for a lot of people.
Sure.
It's meant for whoever's supposed to do it at the time. And I beat out a lot of people when I was 24.
Oh yeah.
That were much more established than me at the time. It just happened to be my time to do it. And so whoever is the next one, if it's Adina or whoever, that's who I'm hearing that's going to do it next. Great. Because you know what we need? We need laughter. We need people to come back to Broadway. We need that. We need that support. You know, Hugh Jackman, the Music Man, him too. We need him. We need that. Whatever happens with Beetlejuice, whatever happens with our show, and I truly believe that we have another life coming. I believe that for a lot of the shows that are on hold right now. But I support anybody new coming in with these big shows. I mean, we need it. We need to bring New York back. We need to bring Broadway back.
Yeah. Take me back to 7th grade. Was it Hello Dolly? That was like a life-changing.
How do you know that?
Because I know everything about you. That's what I do.
Oh my God. Yes. Mount Pleasant Middle School.
Yeah.
We did. Okay, Jackie Washak, who I don't know, I was my big supporter.
Yeah.
She did the most incredible thing. She had an idea that she was not going to do necessarily one show. She was going to do this weird hybrid of not only scenes from big musicals, but from television shows. Okay. So we did the dinner scene in Hello Dolly and the big number before that. Yeah. Right? And I was Dolly. But then we also did scenes from, get ready for it, The Golden Girls. Yes.
Who did you play?
I think I was Blanche, but I do not remember. I do not. I should ask her. And maybe she has a video. I mean, I'll never forget being behind the curtain, like getting ready to walk down the staircase. And I didn't go to performing arts high school. I went like a school. I just went to middle school. And the curtain was there, and I had like a microphone, and it was like really uncomfortable, little big, huge pack on a microphone. Like I remember that because I wasn't singing with this. I had a huge fur blue boa. Like I was like, I think back and I go, who the hell? How did we get? We had Passerelle
Yeah.
in the orchestra. I remember.
Good for you.
So yeah, I mean, all of this stuff. I'm sorry, I'm like jumping all around.
No, I love it. That's what I like to do with everybody.
So
you knew then, right?
I knew then. Yeah, I did. I didn't know how far, but I knew I had something because, when you got it, you know it. Whether or not, talent varies, but when you have something, you got something. When you can like hold an audience's attention, that's something special. And then there's varying degrees of what that is, But it's in 7th grade, I remember, and I took it very seriously too. Yeah. I was on it, But I had parents who weren't like stage parents.
Yeah.
They weren't like pushing me to audition for all this stuff. And quite frankly, I am so happy that they didn't. I think I'm just glad that I could be normal. And then when I went to college, it was all theater all the time. So did you get lead roles in college, or were you like when you went to college? Because I know a lot of people who became stars, they were like, I was only in the chorus. I never got leads, or Not right away. I mean, my senior year, I did the Hot Mikado.
Ooh.
I did Hello Again.
Yeah.
I was the nurse in Hello Again. That was sort of in the black box theater.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of it. Up until then, there's seniority, as there should be.
Yeah.
And then some people did get to play like Charity, and they were in our grade and like junior year.
Yeah.
I don't think I did. I did other small things, but no, it was really like by the time you're a senior, you get like a shot.
Yeah.
A shot. But Hello Again and the Hot Mikado was the big
That's
one.
great.
Mikado was the big one for me, yeah.
You have this incredible career. You've done so many different things and worked with so many incredible people. But I want to talk about 2 really big musical reviews. You did Sondheim on Sondheim.
Yes.
I mean, which was created by Stephen Sondheim and James Lapine. What a cast you had in that. What was it? Tom Wopat, Barbara Cook, Vanessa Williams, Ewan Morton. We're going to talk about that. Then you did First You Dream with Candor and Ebb, and you got to sing one of my favorite all-time songs, which is The Money Tree, because the act is all over my house. I'm obsessed with the act. But let's start with Sondheim on Sondheim. What is it like singing Sondheim and singing Sondheim for Sondheim?
Okay. It's crazy. I mean, we workshopped this show or did readings.
Yeah.
A lot of different readings to the point where I have in the other room the James Lapine and I'm forgetting. Okay, whatever. We had a Bible of songs because we did so many different songs that never wound up in the Broadway version of all this different Sondheim stuff. So I have like a huge binder of stuff that we never used, but we did in different variations of the readings that we did.
Yeah.
I remember Sky I used to do. And I'm trying to think of a couple of other ones that I did that were cut. And then, so there was a long process is what I'm trying to say. They were really, James and was really particular about figuring out what he wanted to put in the show. And then once Barbara came in, and Vanessa and Tom, then everything got really specific. So I really didn't have a big song once we got to New York, like Broadway. I didn't have like a song of my own. And I was kind of bummed because in all the readings I did, listen, when you bring in heavy hitters, you got to give them the big songs, especially Barbara and Vanessa and everybody. So I was like, well, maybe, at some point they'll give me a song, maybe in previews or whatever. And time went by, and just working with Sondheim was amazing, and just being in the room with him. And so then towards the end of previews, James came to me and he was like, listen, Leslie, and I'm gonna totally make up this conversation. This conversation happened. It was sort of the lines of like, well, we want you to have a song, but do you have any idea things that you might want to do? Of course, I had a list of things like in the back of my mind, and one of them was Now You Know from Merrily. That was really the one that I wanted to do. Well, they said yes, and I was so excited. And then Sondheim in rehearsal said that he wanted to change some of the lyrics. And he was like, Leslie, I'm going to write some new lyrics for you. And he did. And Matt Scott, who was in the show with me, sent me a picture of the moment that was happening, because we were in rehearsal and everyone heard him saying that. And I'm going to try to find this picture. He just sent it to me not too long ago.
Oh, wow.
Of me talking to him in the orchestra, just talking to him. Hold on, I'm going to find it.
Oh, yeah.
Wait. Yep, here it is. So I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to try to blow it up. Come on. All right. So this is me and Sondheim. And I think James Lapine is there. But David Loud, both of their backs are to you. And that's me talking to him. Can you see that?
Yes.
And that was during the session where Sondheim was like, yeah, I think I'm going to write some new lyrics to you. And I was like, so what? At the time. But another choreographer, DJ, also captured that moment. She sent me a picture right after that, I remember. But it was really special because I just, I'm leaning over the seats going, okay, sure, and just being like,
that's got to be one of the biggest pinch me moments, to be face to face with him and he's saying, I'm going to write you, Leslie Kritzer, new lyrics.
New lyrics. And he's like, I promise I'll get them to you, Leslie. I promise. Wait, what? And then
that was an incredible experience working on that show, wasn't it?
Oh, I mean, the best. Listening, and I've said this before. I mean, I have very specific moments from rehearsal that I remember. One of them, and Matt Scott and I were talking about this the other day, literally better than anything I saw on stage with Barbara and Ewan. Yeah. I mean, obviously when you're on stage and you hear them or you see the footage from them once they got to Broadway, but to hear Ewan Morton and Barbara Cook sing Beautiful from Sunday in the Park in that dilapidated rehearsal space at Roundabout, which everyone that's worked there knows is like fluorescent lights. There's not a lot of windows. It's not a great rehearsal space, but you're sitting in the back of the room and Barbara's back and Ewan's back are to you and they're singing to each other. And you're just like, this is why I do this.
Yeah.
To watch that. I mean, we would all just look at Tom Wopat, Norm, Lewis, and all of us would look at each other like, did we just experience this?
Yeah.
Seeing the two of them to this day, it's like, those are the moments that I go, wow, wow. Yeah. And watching Tom Wopat in rehearsal going through, finishing the hat and sometimes giving him notes in the moment. Okay, no, think about more like this. You go, wow, I was there.
Yeah.
I was there. That happened. That was real. Elaine Stritch bursting into Erin in my dressing room, barely, with her tights and the white, bursting open. I'm in my underwear. She didn't even really knock. She just came in. She goes, yeah, we're fabulous. It's just like moments like that. You just go, wow. Never in my wildest dreams did I think Elaine Stritch was just gonna burst into my dressing room and tell me. And Marion Selby's backstage bowing to us. You are so wonderful. She did that amazing sort of, she always made you feel like you're the most special person in the room. People like that we got to meet through that show was, it's priceless. Barbara Streisand came. I forget. Yeah, she came. Mm-hmm. I was terrified. Yep.
Did you all know before that she was in the audience?
I feel like we did. Again, I don't remember. I saw where she was sitting because the celebrities always sit in the same spots. So they always have the best seats.
Yeah.
Critics for most of the time.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing her backstage from afar. She really just went up to see Barbara. Everyone would scoot upstairs to see Barbara and then swiftly leave. So I saw her.
I would have gone to your dressing room first. That's where I would have been first.
Well, Barbara was on the first floor.
Totally.
Mine was like, boop, 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 boop.
Oh yeah, I know. At Studio 54.
Yeah,
Wow, so she came and you all knew she was there. Oh my gosh.
So although I don't know, this is when I wish I had other people for my cast because memory, who knows? Yeah.
All right, then you did Candor and Ebb. I adore Candor and Ebb. I mean, you got to do I Don't Care Much, which is one of the most beautiful numbers from Cabaret, and then the Money Tree from the act. Just talk about singing Candor and Ebb too, and those numbers in particular.
Well, it's, your work, first of all, our cast was just so amazing. It was Patina Miller, I mean, the people that were in that, Heidi Blickenstaff, it's just like first of all, it was another group. It was just an amazing group. And then to sing those songs, I mean, I'm kind of built for that music. I feel like that stuff is like, it's so in the pocket of a lot of what I do. I do a lot of things, but you know, when you sing something, you're like, yeah, you know, like Money Tree is one of those songs. Also, you just get it. Like, I get it. I just get it immediately. And our orchestra was amazing. I love working at the Kennedy Center. I just love working there. I've worked there a few times. I've worked in DC a few times, and I just love it. I mean, you know, that there's nothing to say. It's just like, really, I'm here once again. I'm like, is this real? And yeah, it was beautiful. It was an amazing experience.
You know, A Catered Affair is still one of my favorite shows. It will. I think I saw the show 5 times during the run. I kept the publicist kept, Richie, you want to come back? Come back. You're such a big supporter of this show. I loved that show.
I did.
And I want you to talk about that, because this was a whole different side of Leslie Kritzer that we got to see. A beautiful dramatic side of her too. I mean, just talk about Janie's the role, right? The Debbie Reynolds role.
Yeah, it's so funny. I have my shoes from that show around here somewhere.
Yeah.
They let me keep my shoes that they made for me, and I have a cut costume, I think, in one of these closets.
What was that like? I mean, working with Harvey, and working with that company, and just that whole entire musical. I loved that show.
I mean, Harvey I knew from Hairspray, and he was always great to me and always a supporter. And so when I got the audition, I was just like, you know, I was coming off of Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
And that was a totally different part. And I just love the material. And I remember auditioning for it. And I remember them coming after me after the audition and just telling me, like in the hallway, telling me how great it was. And I was terrified of John Doyle at the time. I call that experience my grad school, because John Doyle taught me more about acting than any director ever. I have a lot of directors that I've worked with that I love, and all particular different reasons, from Joe Clarko to Alex Timbers to John Doyle. And John Doyle really, because of that particular piece, which prepared me for other pieces that I did down the line, like Memory Show. Yeah. Really stripped down everything I knew. It was like, with Faith Prince and I both, like, just do less of everything. Just talk. Don't do all the stuff. Don't do less of, he took props away from us. We weren't allowed to wear makeup. And I think it really transformed, at least it transformed me as an actor, being able to kind of go, all right, well, I'm good at Waka Waka, and I'm definitely good at being funny, and I'm definitely good at being real and funny. But to be able to do something like this, which is just straight man, I'm not really funny in it, was nice to know that I could do that too. And that's as big a part of me as the comedy stuff that I do. And all the comedy heroes that I've grown up loving are great at both. Yeah. You know, from like Bette Midler to Lily Tomlin to whoever. I mean, you know, Robin Williams. Yeah. You know, they're able to access both. And so he gave me the confidence, and that was my grad school.
That's beautiful.
I didn't get to go to Yale or grad school at NYU, but I got to work with John Doyle, and that experience. And Harvey was amazing, watching him be on both sides of the table, in it and writing it, and our family. And Matt Kavanaugh, who got out of the business, lucky. Yep. He's so lucky.
He's got Jenny. He's got all those kids now.
He's got 3 children.
Yeah, I know.
Good.
We all miss him. I'm glad he did, but we miss Matt Kavanaugh. But he did the right thing. He really did the right thing.
He was the nicest.
Yeah.
The nicest. We had the best. And that's when West Side Story was happening.
Sure.
And I said, I'm telling you, Matt, you are getting Tony, hands down. I'm predicting it. And I was right.
I love that. I also want to talk about TV and film, because you branched into that world. I love to ask stage actors, what was the first TV or film you did? Like the first time you were on a film set or a TV set, and did you grasp the cameras right away? Because some people do, and some people are like, Richie, I couldn't get the TV thing right away until people sort of told me what to do.
I think it just sort of happened. I didn't really think too much about it. I mean, the first bunch of Law and Orders and stuff that I did over the years. And then I think it wasn't until I did vinyl a few years ago that I really had to be aware, because the style is so different and the cameras are right there. And I had to time things when I'd say things depending on when the camera was going to hit me when, and so it was a different experience doing that as opposed to other things that I've done. It's just, you hit your mark and you do stuff like that. I haven't really.
You played Ray Romano's wife on that. Brilliant. And talk about a dream team. You worked on that too. It's like, that's great. Like you said you didn't go to Yale, but look who you get to work with. I mean, look who was on that set.
And hopefully more. I mean, we'll see. I'd love to do more. I mean, it's like, and now I think about that, all of us, a lot of us are always looking to do, whether it be theater acting or voiceover, or not theater acting, film and television, and more voiceover, which I started doing this year as well. I mean, I'm doing a lot more.
Well, let's talk about that, because right as you and I started to talk before we went live, talk about this whole new thing. I mean, everyone's trying to find their way back into the business, or during all this, or you were talking about a new system or everything for voiceover work. Would you talk about that?
Yeah, I credit my agent, Billy Clora of CESD. He begged me to do voiceover. And I told him, I was like, I used to schlep into the city and never booked, never was good, and the people that are voiceover actors that like are in that game, that's what they do. And I was like, I'm just not, it's not for me. I booked like Connecticut drunk driving. Like it's like once in a couple of years. So I was in the office and he was like, Leslie, you really, really should think about doing it. I was like, okay, I'm giving it 6 months. Well, 4 auditions in, I booked a big voiceover spot randomly. And when I say luck, I mean luck. I mean, I'm good, but I think just the stars were aligned. And so ever since then, I've been recording a lot, which is great, but I'm learning. Like my friends who are real voiceover people more consistently, they kind of know the name of the game. So now, since people can't record in studios anymore, we're kind of required to make our home setups better. Some people always had better home setups because they were working always, and they were required to be ready at any time to record stuff, especially if you're like on a big campaign, like you're the voice of Verizon or something like that. You're required to like bang them out. But a lot of times you can go into a studio. So now, long story short, I have a little mini studio that I built in this closet.
Fabulous.
I spent some money and time. Like there's foam, there's soundproof wall, and I got a brand new microphone, and along with a couple of friends who know a lot about this stuff, kind of set me up. And now I have to connect to this service where I'm able to connect right to the client if they need to talk to me. It's all new technology. It is way overwhelming, but at the same time, this is how we adapt now, and how other parts of the industry are going to have to adapt. Self-tapes are probably going to be even more important now than ever for TV and film auditions. And that's not to say, obviously, we want to be able to audition in person as much as possible for casting directors and stuff. But people are still working. So voiceover stuff is still happening now because they can. And especially
that's great to know. Yeah.
With a good setup, you're able to audition and also record easily at a higher quality. And it's all a lot. But listen, you have to adapt to survive.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we do. And I still, I still have to stay in shape, because whenever, knock on wood, I go back to my job, my costume's got to fit.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about.
Argentina costume is not. It's not a. Let's say it can't be taken out.
Okay.
It has to fit.
Well, I want to talk about Delia and Miss Argentina. I mean, what do you love the most? Now, I'm sure you're missing them a lot of playing them.
I do. I mean, of course, I miss the show. Of course, I don't miss the green makeup. My pores don't miss the green makeup either. But I do miss being on stage, of course, and being with people and entertaining. Those two roles are so fun and so great. And I actually have to start singing more. It's been a month, really, since I've sang. So I have to actually start, my husband and I told him, I said, we should start like singing. He practices all the time. He's amazing. I have to start getting back, because I have to keep my voice, it's one of those things when you're in a show, the muscles, like you can bang it out. I have to keep doing that. But I do miss it. What I miss more, honestly, is the cast and the crew.
Yeah.
I miss our people. We could do that show with our eyes closed, but you know, I miss the building, and I miss seeing them every day. You know, that's our family, and I know that everybody in all of those theaters, off Broadway, all across the country, the people that were working together. I mean, you really do have a bond, and that's right now on pause. So it's a really special show whenever we come back, and I really do think we will. I really do think we will. And that's what I'm putting out there. It'll be just an amazing moment to be able to hug each other and to see each other and say we're back, you know.
You also have an incredible fan base for Beetlejuice. I mean, seriously, I would walk by the theater a lot, like, you know, at the end, if I saw something else, I'd always walk by the stage door at the end of Beetlejuice, and just watching all these incredible fans that have seen the musical over and over. Have you named your fans at Beetlejuice? Do they have a name?
You know what? Maybe, I don't want to say juice heads. I don't know. Dana and Kelvin might know more than me.
Okay.
And Alex, I don't think so. We never, I don't think so. I don't remember that, but they're just amazing. You know, it's like, listen, we were the underdog show. We're the show that's like, no, that thing is going to close. That thing is, and we showed everybody like, sorry, we're not going anywhere, you know, and we're just, it's an amazing success story, our show, you know, and I think that has a lot to do with how we connect to the fan base, the album, music, the story, our cast, and timing. You know, a lot of great shows, Catered Affair being one of them, you know, a bunch of others I've been in, great shows, not the right time. Didn't last long for whatever reason. For our show, it was just timing. I've been in more shows that have closed early than shows that have lasted. Yeah. In 20 plus years of me being here. So this was an amazing, phenomenal thing that happened with our show. I think the Tony Awards, our performance on that, and, you know, Alex and Sophia and all of our casts, when we were going through that transition time, really made a huge difference. And our producers sticking with it and, you know, having faith. And so that's why I don't think it's over. And I'm praying for all of the shows for that. You know, we're going to need each other, all of us, to keep this going. And that's why live theater is special, you know.
I have had the time of my life sitting with you today. I cannot tell you, you have been you're so honest about everything, because we're all going through this same thing. I mean, you're sitting in your home out there, but there's so many things going through your mind of like, you know, when will our show come back again? How do I fill my days? How do I continue with the career? How do I deal with family? You know, it's all this. We have no answers to anything, but, you know, just listening to you being so honest of what you're going through. You know, you look sensational, by the way. I told you that.
Makeup for you and clothes, but be assured these are pajama pants. But I just want to say one more thing, because I know it's important to say, because, you know, actors are, you know, I'm talking about a show and show business, but the most important thing right now is that everyone is healthy. And I just want to say to all of the healthcare workers out there and the people that are putting their lives on the line for everyone, that I'm in awe of them. And I just hope everyone in our country can, obviously we know a lot of people are going to pass away, but that's the most important thing right now, that we keep each other safe, that we're smart, and that hopefully our family and our friends are protected, and the rest will come when it's the shows, the businesses, the restaurants. We'll see how it shakes out, but that health is most important right now, and being there for our friends, especially the ones who are isolated. You know, I have people here, a lot of people that we know, they're home alone, or they're separated from their family, or they have a loved one in the hospital. They can't be with them right now, or a family, a relative in nursing home, or parents that are across the country that they can't be with, or can't visit or can't see. So I just want to say that I'm thinking about all of those people and all of us, and that you and everyone will be okay. We'll pull through this.
We have to stay connected too. It's all about connecting.
It is.
As opposed to people shutting down. I'm glad that everyone's reconnecting with people and everyone's going through the same things and having the same feelings.
Right.
And I said this yesterday with somebody else. I was like, everybody thinks God touches you on the shoulder and says, Leslie Kritzer, she's going to be a big star, and that you're in a whole different frame, but you're not. You have the same, feelings that everybody else has out there and going through all the same things. And, you put a human side on everything. Yeah,
I'm scared and I'm fearful. I'm fearful about the future, whatever, but I know that this is not just about me. It's a bigger thing here. And all you can do is what's in front of you, be responsible, be safe, and do what you can, and don't get overwhelmed too much by the news. Do what you can to keep yourself sane. We might have a very long road ahead of us.
Yeah.
So we just have to stay connected and stay healthy and reach out to friends, even when you feel like that's the thing with me. And I'll be completely transparent. When I'm feeling low or I'm feeling anxious or scared, I kind of retreat because I'm like, I just get into this place, and I really worked hard on not doing that during this time, making sure that I'm reaching out to people and not getting too bogged down in here.
Perfect.
Say that to everybody.
Yeah. Well, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here today. Send my love to your husband. I'm telling everybody who tuned in today, thank you very much. Keep going to Broadway World, because everyone at Broadway World, all of the actors and composers and lyricists, everybody there is just sharing their stories and doing what they can to get through this time period. And I'm sitting with Alex Brightman's doing this with me next Friday.
Oh, and he's the best, and he's so funny, and he's I think he's still with his wife's family too, and he's the best. He was on our Snob also, and of course everyone just checking in and supporting each other. And I love that you're doing this. It's so real and so honest. Please keep in touch with me. If you have any ideas of things that I can do, let me know.
Yeah, if there's anything you ever want to do at Broadway World, from a small thing, you don't have to sing. You could do anything you want. But seriously, everyone's doing it. It's just, it keeps everybody connected.
Yeah.
And it's what you do with your talent. And it seems like you're really coming into your own again and saying, I'm working my way through this.
Yeah.
And I can put it out there.
Yeah. I wasn't ready to do too much. And I think now as we go, I'm processing it and getting ideas are coming now and stuff. And you do what you can. And even people being productive. I'm pretty productive here, but even feeling it, if you're not like, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, it's like, give yourself a break. We've never experienced something like this.
Yeah.
Ever. And, a lot of us are workaholics. And so it's a different thing to kind of go, you got to slow down. So everyone's different, and that's okay too, how they deal with this.
But you're also become a very good sous chef, I understand. So you have all of these are new things you can add to your resume, special skills.
I kind of want to refinish this wicker, I got it like a consignment of garage sale. It's a wicker dresser that I want to refinish in my basement. And I'm like, maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Maybe
these are all new skills you have now. Look at this.
Why not? I mean, I have the space and I have the time. It's like, why not? Learn something new.
I love you and adore you.
I love you so much.
I love you. And everybody, thank you. And if anybody out there watching wants to donate anything, please donate to the Actors Fund, donate to BroadwayCares.org, because it's giving back to the community. You have a lot of people watching this today, right?
And they said this is really good quality. Someone was just saying, whatever you're streaming on is excellent.
Well, we're Broadway World. We're trying to up all of our stuff here to connect with people across the world and everything else. So, like I said, go have lunch with your hubby. Go make something fabulous.
See how the day flies? It's 1:00.
It's lunchtime. You'll be chopping vegetables in an hour or so before you know it for dinner, then changing your nighttime outfit on.
I did, because I had crazy bad food yesterday.
All right, my love. I love you.
Thanks
Take
for
care.
having me. Love to have you.